Hello and welcome back class 9. Here is another video of chapter 2, another part in continuation with the previous part, the chapter People as a Resource. Till now we have understood the meaning of people as a resource, how and why a person, a human being is considered as a resource for the country. An educated and a healthy person becomes a resource for the country. Now, here are two cycles. In the first, the left one, if we invest in human capital, that means if we invest in the child's education and healthcare, in the future it will yield or it will give a higher income. More educated the person is, more income he will earn in future. And they will become educated parents. And they will invest more heavily on the education of their child because they understood the advantages, the benefits of giving education to their children. They are also conscious of proper nutrition and hygiene. They accordingly look after their children's need for education at school and good health. And it results in virtuous cycle. Virtuous is a positive term. One after another, a positive thing is happening. More and more investment is being made in human capital. On the other hand, if the people are poor and they are unaware of the importance of education and proper health care, what happened? They will not invest in the human capital. They will not invest in the education and health of their children. It will result in lower income in future. They will become uneducated parents and their children again will live the same life and they will remain in disadvantaged state. And it results in vicious cycle in which a person is trapped and they cannot get out of it. They cannot take advantages of the benefits of education and healthcare. Next topic is economic activities. Very interesting topic. Economic activities, as the name suggests, the activities done for money. The various activities have been classified into three main sectors. The activities which are done to earn money are classified. That means there are three types of activities through which we can earn money. You can see here the three types of activities are primary activities, secondary activities, and tertiary activities. I think you have already learned about this, some part of this in class 8 also. I'm going to repeat here. I'll explain you in detail. First is primary activity. Primary means agriculture. Primary means basis. It is the basis of all other sectors. All the activities related to agriculture, forestry, fishing, in which directly the nature and the products are extracted from the nature are included in primary activities. When these raw materials are converted into finished products, all the industrial work, all the manufacturing in which the machines are involved comes in secondary, when something in manufacturing. And the last is tertiary. In tertiary sector, there is no manufacturing of any goods. There are only services. Only services. For example, a teacher is teaching you in school. He is not selling you anything, but he is selling his services, and in return of those services, he or she is paid. You visit to doctor, lawyer, they ask you for fees. They are not selling you any product. There is no manufacturing or selling and buying of any product, but there is selling of services. So all the services through which we can earn money comes in tertiary sector. So there are basically three broad categories of activities in which the economic activities are classified: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Here are some examples also. Primary activities includes agriculture, forestry, animal husbandry, fishing, poultry farming and mining. Secondary sector includes quarrying and manufacturing. Tertiary sector involve trade, transport, communication, banking, education, health, tourism. These all are services. These all comes in tertiary sector. All the activities collectively in all the sectors gives national income, and all the activities through which income is earned is known as economic activities. After this, there are two more activities called market and non-market activities. Market activities are all those activities which involve payment. When you are earning and you are generating income by doing some activity, the activity performed for pay or profit is known as market activity. And in contrast to this, non-market activity are the production for self-consumption. Now listen very carefully. A farmer is having a farm and he produces 100 quintals of wheat on his farm. Firstly, what he will do, out of those 100 quintals, he will take 20 quintals for his family for self-consumption at home and sell 80 quintals in the market. Those 20 quintals is for self-consumption, that comes in non-market activity, and 80 quintals what he is selling in the market comes in market activities. I hope you can clearly distinguish between both. Non-market activities are also called own account production activities. Now, when we are talking about economic activities in our country, we see division of labor. Due to historical and cultural reasons, there is division of labor between men and women in the family. Women generally look after domestic chores and men work in fields. Women are not paid for the services delivered for upbringing of the family and for any of the domestic work. But men are paid for their work when they work outside. The household work done by women is not added in national income. But when women work outside their home, outside their own domestic chores, they earn. But they are paid low as compared to men. Even if the work done by women and men is same, their earnings, like that of male counterpart, are usually less. We have variety of reasons for this difference. First is, a majority of women have merged education. Merge means very less education and low skill formation as compared to men. In our country, majority of women have less education and low skill formation. Most women work where job security is not there. If they have less education, they do not have more job security. So they will have the jobs in unorganized sector where there are no rules, no regulations, and job security is not there. Various activities relating to legal protection is merge. Again, they are involved in various activities in which they do not claim any legal, they cannot take any action if something happens against them. Employment is characterized by irregular and low income. They are employed in jobs in which they have low income. There is an absence of basic facilities like maternity leave, childcare, and other social security systems. The jobs in which they are involved usually do not have basic facilities. However, nowadays, women with high education and skill formation are paid at par with the men. There are various women who have entered administrative and other services, including jobs that need high levels of scientific and technological competence. So overall, we can conclude that there is urgent need to increase the literacy among the population, especially women. Education helps individual to make better use of economic opportunities available before him. In any country, the quality of population can be increased. The quality of population can be improved by two factors. First is education and second is health. These are the most important determinants of any country's development and growth. So the emphasis should be laid on improving both. Firstly, if we talk about education, education has innumerable benefits. It is an important input for growth. If you are educated, if you educate yourself more and more, you will be growing, and if everyone is educated, the nation will be growing. It opens new horizons and provides new aspiration and develops values of life. It increases your mental horizon. It increases your ability to understand. It opens up your mind, and you will learn a lot of values. Education contributes towards the growth of society also. It enhances the national income. If you are educated, you will earn more and you will contribute to the national income. It improves cultural richness. When you study more, you get to know about other cultures. You are interacting with the people of different cultures, different religion. What is happening? It is enhancing cultural richness and increases the efficiency of governance. If one person is educated, then he or she will be able to govern, to manage well. So education is the major determinant of the earning of any individual in the market. Or we can say education is the major determinant of your overall growth and development. So with this, I am ending this video here, and I'll take up education part, the provisions made by government in field of education and healthcare, in the next video. Till then, please read from the book and go through the video again and again to clarify your doubts. And if you have any doubts and any questions, please be free to ask. Thank you.